Alright, hopefully this time I can finish the jeez. On this channel, I've done a couple Fnaf series, like 8 or 9. I've done the timeline in order, in the sense of Secret of the Mimic, and so on, up until Ruin. But I have never actually explained the entire storyline. So, that is why, with the occasional help of my co-host here, say hi.
Dropkick Miller.
I'm going to say it all. I'm going to be doing most of the talking, hence why it's called co-host. So, for the first one, it is pretty simple. Secret of the Mimic, they kind of tell you yourself that it is a, well, prequel to all the other games, making it the first game. Ironic, because it's the most recent big Fnaf game. If you're not counting Help Wanted 2 or Into the Pit, which is irrelevant to the story and is just an adaptation to a book. Granted, it was good. Doesn't make it relevant.
Yeah.
Did you return the lobby?
No, I died.
Starting with. Oh, wait, no, I already said that. So it goes on in the sense of it's a pretty simple and flat out robbery, because Edwin Murray had the whole Edwin's costume matter, and then after his wife died at Fall Fest, he made a mimic endoskeleton to act as a mother to David, except David was being neglected by him, and a robot can't really do everything a human can. So David got hit by a car.
Thanks for the support.
I didn't put that when I first reviewed the game, but I found that out when I was watching some videos about it, leading to him making another mimic because he was just sad about that, and he was like he needed to make some vengeance for him. Ultimately, this got him killed because, well, probably killed. We don't 100% know if he's killed or not. But so far, the fate of Edwin Murray is considered or classified as dead. It's because it's pretty crazy, because it's talking about how an explosion happened when a project went wrong, and his legs were trapped behind something as the fire was happening, and the mimic acted the same way that Edwin did to David, which was neglect him, don't care, and Edwin died from that, which is the presumable death of him. Except if he survived that, he's probably an old man now when they send Arnold. But it goes like Henry and William steal the designs of, well, some of the designs. If you remember, you see essentially half the designs get split to one person and the other. One being the Michael and Henry. No, not Michael, William and Henry. Sorry about that. And the other one being Stan. Bet you forgot about him from Fnaf 6. Stan's, I forgot the name of the thing, but it's Stan's something rather. He was the one who stole Orville Elephant and stuff like that. That's why Mr. Hippo and Happy Frog. That's why if you thought those looked familiar, it's because they are familiar. Because they would later be turned into those. It's pretty obvious, but yeah. You can even see the Spring Bonnie and the Fredbear prototypes in the end of the game. And you can see prototypes from OG Bonnie, Foxy, Chica, and the Amalgam Mimic also has parts of the OG Chica, her face, and a little bit of everyone, essentially. It's called the Amalga, which is short for the amalgamation, which is the word used for like a mixture of something. So yeah. After that, now they get into the older games, Fnaf 4. It starts, well, the first game takes place in the 70s, which likely means that the events of the actual game probably takes place around the early 80s, if we're considering Mike Schmidt and Michael Afton on the same person. It's considering on who you ask, but for this one we'll say it is. He would have had, and if the theory that I picked, being Michael is the kid in FNAF 4, is correct, considering no kid could have survived that bite, because, yeah, it's kind of a fatal.
Yeah.
And even if it was a dream sequence, which I don't think it is, it could be, but I feel like I have a better idea of what it is. Essentially, even if it was a dream sequence, having your frontal lobe removed removes stuff like fear of something. Like, you'll just go in, you don't care, and you'll likely just be bored. You'll likely just go back to sleep, because if you don't see anything that's happening right now in your face, right now, action-packed, you're not gonna pay attention to it. Therefore, you're gonna go back to bed. Therefore, you're just not gonna get jump scared because you'll be sleeping. So it's pretty simple. You can't possibly be checking the hallways for 6 hours because someone with that damage would just not have the attention span for that. I think it's Michael, and I feel like his imagination is thinking back on the animatronics, and he's just having nightmares about it because he's partially the fault. Well, not partially. He is the fault of Evan's death.
He's entirely the fault.
Yeah, that's why I don't know why I said partially. He is the reason that Evan's got, by 83. So yeah. What else?
I got you a 2 liter of Sprite.
The events of the the mini games, the arcade style games, within the
Those
game,
happen before gameplay.
yeah, they take place before. It's essentially like the backstory of the game, and at the end, it shows what happened right before, likely showing how he died. Why he isn't the main character of Fnaf 4. Anyways, next up is, are we gonna stick with the one we originally thought, or are you going back to your new one?
We're gonna stick with the one we originally thought of.
Cool. Next up is the first game. I feel like the story's been told a million times, so I don't really have to explain much. Oh jeez, I'm dead. It goes simply as
Here, I have some energy. I'll explain this more.
cool. Pretty simple.
Basically, vengeful father who lost his kid due to Ed Fredbear's family diner, so he moves to a new location. Moves to a new location and starts killing kids there to give good old Henry a bad name. And and in the result, he kills 5 kids. One of them turned into a vengeful spirit, which basically condemns him to hell. But we're not at that part.
Nope.
Yep. 5 nights, 5 more innocent lives.
And simple. They stuff them in the suits, wake up, throw them around, souls. There was actually 6, but the first actual kill takes place way before the rest. Therefore, I'm not gonna count it in this part of the game.
We'll explain that in 2.
Yeah, that'll be 2 because it's prominent in 2. But yeah, game ends with you getting your paycheck, and one of 2 things happens. I'm pretty sure you get bonus time. No, I'm not pretty sure. I know that you get bonus time, and I'm pretty sure if you finish all of those nights, you get fired. Can't bring with the animatronics, which didn't happen. But
yeah.
all of Jeremy, Fritz, Susie, Gabriel, and
Cassidy
Cassie gets killed. Then. Anyways, moving on to sister location, which is the 5th game, ironically, because it's most likely going to be after the first one, which ironically would make it the 4th game in the timeline. But yeah, I'm dead. Sister location. A lot of people, including Matt himself, thought that it was taking place where William was the person you play as, and you see in Fnaf 2 that he gets killed. More on that later, but it does Michael, which is how he Well, yeah,
Ugh.
not really. He's
If
in
you
it,
enjoyed
gets
the
scooped out, but
experience,
he's
don't
not.
forget to like and favorite the
His character
game.
doesn't get
It
killed
really
off.
helps us keep creating.
No,
Until
he
much
does
later.
not.
Only XP file. Therefore, in the mini games, which is a prominent part of this game franchise, it shows how in Fnaf 4, you remember the girl room that didn't have an explanation to it. Well, that's the person who possessed the baby. Well, that's her room, because it's all part of one big family in the long run. It's not actually one big family, it's just one family that gets dragged out. Anyways, Fnaf 2. This one is a pretty lengthy story. So oh crap, you want to take this one?
Yes, I will, actually. So, after the events of good old Sister Location, which takes place in William's bunker, William starts to notice that after good old Elizabeth's death, that she's been, due to getting chomped by baby, he notices that the circus baby animatronic is acting strange. Her blue eyes are supposed to be green, and she's acting more calmly. So, he starts, as William does, he starts thinking and experimenting. So, I know I'm explaining stuff in Sister Location, but this is going to be important in Fnaf 2. So, after William makes this little discovery, he thinks, well, if dead souls within bodies will act like that, then William got an idea. An awful idea. A horribly, horribly awful idea. And then, hence, Fnaf 2. Kills children, stuff them in suits, gets the OG suits actually, melts them, and 5 children, and well, actually more like 6, corner him, and he puts on the spring bodysuit, and then death, which is richly deserved.
Yeah. Pretty crappy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wanna mention the minigames?
Oh yeah, and the mini games. Though, okay, I just explained those though. The whole taking apart the animatronics and melting them down.
Okay.
That's what the mini games are for.
What about the Paw Patrol?
You're in. How did we do the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the whole... She puts the life into the suits in the first place because she was the first victim, so she's like
Do the last city map.
going to get revenge.
I like the one.
And that sets up the minigames for the end of the Fnaf game. Next up,
Yes.
is 3, which, just as the rest of the other games, has a bunch of arcade-style minigames.
Oh, but this one just sucks.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this. Well, there's only one real jump scare, and it's kind of buns, if I'm being honest.
Yep.
Here, I'll switch to creative. Fly around while we're talking about this.
Yeah.
This one is showing what happens to the body of William after, the whole spring locks and such. Essentially, they make the whole Fazbear Frights, which is essentially a horror attraction of the story of the game. And William, they took William because they thought it looked cool, which turned out to be Springtrap, and he's the only actual person there because the Phantoms. Which, yes, you are playing as Michael, and yes, you are a partially rotting body. Don't think about it even more. Don't think about it less. Just take it as it is. in the end of the game, well, which I can't remember which one, if it was the bad or the good, but the place burns down with William inside it, and he gets sent to wait a couple years until he gets put into the new game, but in the timeline that's the next game, so you know how it is. Yeah, I don't really like this game, so I'm just gonna zoom by it. Next up is one of my favorites, just because of its simple nature. Fnaf 6, but it's not about opinion, it's about story. In Fnaf 6, we play as, yet again, guess who?
Michael Afton.
Who had just turned into a rotting flesh bag. Well, not just, but in the game's lineup, he just got turned into a rotting flesh bag. But he's been one in the story of the games. Yeah, it's a little confusing, but you'll get to know it once you play it more. So he was the night guard for the final game. Yeah, this is where a lot of people get retired. A bunch of the story characters are here, like Charlotte, who is now possessing Lefty, who was one of the animatronics that they threw out. Scrap Baby is baby, but
Just scrap.
yeah, for some reason she has a lobster claw and roller skates. So, you know, the more you know. And, of course, William. He's now a Scrap Trap, or as I like to call him, Jimmy Neutron. He is still there. And he is trying to kill you. Because stonks.
He's William Afton, and he always comes back big.
And you know who else is there? Wait, no. He wasn't there. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Who you gonna call? Second friend
Fredbear.
But, yeah, at the end of this game, you have a bunch of different endings, which is pretty cool. Likely because they were probably meaning for this to finish the main story of the game. The Afton story probably gets kicked off here. That's why they have so many endings where you get fired, you get lawsuits, and a bunch of stuff like that. But the main ending includes one of the coolest endings, where Henry gives a monologue and talks about how it's funny because you would think that some of the base games was for kids and the adults or the older people get the story, and then he was like, Henry, I will meet you in the depths of hell. Not Henry, but William. You know what I mean, I said that wrong.
Okay, here's what he said. But for one of you, the darkest pit of hell is open for you. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend.
That's obviously referring to William. They were business partners. You get the rest. The reason he hates him, you know, Charlotte.
Because he killed his kid.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. If you couldn't catch on, but what I was saying earlier, that's what happens, and therefore, he wants to get him out of there. So,
Let's try to go get a...
yeah. By doing this, it's burning the entire building down, which includes Henry himself, William, Baby, Lefty, and you, being Michael. All take
Good sight.
the final game, and then you go into eternal rest.
One last hurrah.
Yep. I feel like this would be the coolest place to stop the storyline, and every other game is just the news Fnaf storyline. This game is indeed peak. But
Yeah.
just like Springtrap, these games always come back, and that includes a mobile game. Yeah, this has no story unless you count the Vanessa emails. Other than that, I think we're gonna move on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
To Help Wanted, which actually has a bit of storyline, giving a little background on some of the new characters. You see, well, Vanessa, not Vanny, the actual person, before she gets corrupted. More on that later. But, yeah, she's an employee there, and they're talking about how they can get all of them out of the building. Essentially, she gets possessed and, like, evil powers by Glitch Trap, which is just another version of William in digital form. These games started to get confusing after the end of the 6th game. Even if it was already confusing with dead children controlling animatronics and putting a man into a Springhawk suit where they get possessed into a pizzeria, but, you know.
So let me tell you what I understand out of the new one, at least. So here's what I understand. Someone or something in the new Fazbear LLC, which is different from the original Faz Corporation, went into the old Fnaf 6 ruins, which they have clear access to because they built their good old Pizzaplex right over it. Who decided that was a good idea? Only God knows.
Yep, and whoever did is out $20. If you know the reference, you get the reference.
Anyway, so someone or something, who knows, went to the old FNAF 6 location, stole a little something from Burn Trap, oh no, wait, not Burn Trap, Scrap Trap, or AKA as my friend Semicolon here says, Jimmy Neutron. stole a hardware drive from his body, programmed it to the VR game in efforts to resurrect him.
Yep, this only partially worked.
And people at Fazbear LLC were wondering, well, who are we going to possess? And then they saw Vanessa. Oh, poor Vanessa. She means well, of course, but oh, poor Vanessa. She, chosen for her lack of family or really any human connection, really, got chose as the next host.
And therefore, we set up for the next game, which is the first big game since FNAF 6, Security Breach.
Known for its lag.
Oh yes, the lag. Just as iconic as the fear. For that game, it's the lag. But yeah, this game talks about, well, much later into the games. We're talking like 2040s, a little bit after FNAF 3, which is confusing. Yep, just let's roll with it.
You see me roll. It ain't it.
You see me mowing my front lawn.
Gotta catch me.
Nerdy.
Try to catch me wine nerdy.
Oh, weird hell. But sorry about that. It's not the FNAF storyline. This game moves on. Kid named Gregory stays behind after the malfunction since he clearly has no family history. Or does he have any family at all? But that's a whole conspiracy theory, which could be a theory on this channel if we believe it. Essentially, people were believing that Gregory was a robot because he has no connection in that. What's his name? Glamrock Freddy says that you are hurt, I will help you, or like I will fix you or something. Very reminiscent of
FNAF 4's.
Yeah.
FNAF 4's, you are broken, I will fix you.
Of a certain person that is here, there, everywhere. Who you gonna call?
Psychic Fredbear.
Oh, just as iconic as the fan, Matt Bat, who was somehow canonically connected to the games. Now he is Toy Bonnie. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Life could be a dream. Life could be a dream.
But we're almost at the end of the story. So if you've watched for 24 minutes, this is one of the longer FNAF videos I have. If you're not counting the game playthroughs, I say game throughs. But anyways, it goes. He stays for 6 hours, which in the game is roughly 25 hours, because that's just how game hours work. And essentially, instead of 6 hours for 5 days, only lasting about an hour, this game takes 6 hours and turns it into 20+ hours. Welcome to the world of single-player games. But the story is, you can even, in one of the endings, did you really think that he was gone? Because William Afton makes his surprising return at the time, because people thought that he was done for, as Burnt Trap. Because for some reason, they just... No, it's not Scott Cawthon anymore. It's Steelwool who milks the Aftons until they're dry. I'm not complaining. It's just kind of a bit of an odd thing to do, considering it was one of the most perfect endings to any game. That's the length of FNAF. Just for another return, but it was still really cool to see him again. So I'm not complaining. Anyways, yeah, he returned. You can see actually the bot Afton family, where you can see the baby one, you can see the Evan one, you can see the Michael one, you can see it. So the game has a bunch of endings. One where Freddy gets deconstructed and you end up, I think, defeating Vanny. The second ending is where you leave the Pizzaplex and Vanny finds you sleeping in the alley, and the essentially
Kills.
yeah, it's what's the word I'm trying to think of?
Dark.
Well, it is, but I was gonna say it's pretty much you're pretty much left to assume he's dead.
Are you good?
It's vague. It's vague.
Yeah. They don't show you the death, because I would say that's kind of dark for child death, but welcome to FNAF. But, no. They probably don't, that's why they don't show any kids dying on actual screen. Unless you count the, FNAF 5 minigames. We don't talk about that. And FNAF 4 minigames. We don't talk about those now.
Yeah.
But, now we cut to Help Wanted 2, which gives background on the new character, being, I don't even remember her name, what's her name?
Cassie.
Cassie. Her dad is one of the Bonnie Bro, not one of the Bonnie Bro, which actually is, remember, if you play the games, you remember one of the bullies had one of the bullies had a Bonnie mask that it turns out to be.
Dude, this is perfect. Just leave it alone.
It's the Teen Titans Tower. I calmed out. That's what I was doing. It's Titans Tower.
And yes, I'm you know to go.
But
you.
back to the game.
When there's stuff.
Cassie is actually Bonnie Bros, which is one of Henry's friends. Not Henry.
They're not Henry's.
Michael's friends. A part of the FNAF 4 minigames. And, yeah. Cassie goes to the whatever's left. Well, there's a bunch of more endings to the FNAF game, but I'm just cutting to the DLC. We cut to, like a year later where there's not much left of the place. Oh, and remember how he said that FNAF 6 was built on top of... No, FNAF Security Breach, which is the Pizzaplex, was built on top of FNAF 6 location. In one of the endings, how you get to one of the ending of the games, you can find FNAF 6, the location. It's pretty noticeably there. And in Ruin, you can find Candy Cadet.
I am Candy Cadet.
I will give candy all day, every day. Candy, candy, candy. But, we're almost at the wide stretch of this 30-minute FNAF timeline. Let's just finish this out with one full take. No jokes. The ending is where Cassie goes to try and help Gregory after his code goes silent. Rather, either Gregory gets killed in one of the many endings where Vanny kills him, or he leaves. She tries to find him anyways. But keep in mind Secret of the Mimic for a second as one of my theories on that. Essentially, what happens here is at the ending of the game, Cassie is about to in one of the endings at least, you have two endings. One where you find through the portal and you find Gregory and Vanessa with, I think, Glamrock Freddy. Either that or there's two of them, I don't remember. But it's them sitting with ice cream, and that's the ending. It's a happy ending. In the bad ending, which is likely the true ending, where they get everyone out, it's where she goes in the elevator, and then Gregory says they can't have the mimics, well, chasing them, and so he cuts the elevator line, and until further notice, kills Cassie.
Get behind
But
something.
I had a feeling that it was two mimics, because remember, there was two mimics, and in the true ending of the game, Arnold gets killed in a car crash. Well, presumably dead in a car crash. We don't know if he died or not. It's likely that he's dead. There's fire circling the car. But the mimic takes the data diver and he gets out of there. Which means, remember this, there's two mimics still, which is likely the reason that Gregory sounded like Gregory. Because he was mimicking the voice because he had already encountered him. Which likely means that Gregory kicked the bucket.
One's on.
And with that, FNAF storyline ends at a whopping
Okay.
roughly 70-year run between the 70s to 2040. And from 2014 to 2025, that is how, so far on the FNAF storyline has officially ended. Of course, there's going to be more games. Steel will be producing these games until Scott Cawthon is 90. Marvel reference, if you know what I mean. But, that's the end of the game. I would like to say that this is one of the most complex storylines, and I've probably left out quite a bit of stuff. But there's not going to be a bunch of people watching this, so if you actually care, comment that you missed a couple stuff, and I'll make videos on what I missed. So, yeah. That's it. The FNAF storyline ends. Any last words before I end this?
Well, I gotta say, let me throw a few monkey wrenches into some of the things you said. The canon ending and what you said, and the security breach is the FNAF 6 location burning down and Glamrock Freddy and Gregory escaping. That's the canon
So
ending.
focused at that. There was like five
Oh,
people.
well,
Here, we're gonna
okay,
take
if that's the
back
case,
five.
then that would mean that Gregory did not kick the bucket, rather he's not even there. And that the call was from, yet again, what I still believe to be a mimic. Do you have anything about that?
About the whole mimic thing,
Yes.
I believe that you're correct on that part of the whole two mimics thing.
So, therefore, putting that little monkey wrench out of their situation, that is the finale. Other than that, do you have anything to say about the FNAF storyline and how it's ended, or how do you think this game is going to progress?
Let me tell you one thing. Good God, I've actually had to use some of my brain to solve some of these mysteries.
But don't worry, because there's still going to be a bunch of years going on, because there's a lot of missing plot holes left of this games. So,
Oh no.
yeah.
Oh,
Because there's
dear.
a bunch of games, and we didn't even talk about Ultimate Custom Night, FNAF World, or any of the spin-off games.
FNAF World is widely known to be not canon, though.
I'm talking about the game itself, whether it's canon or not.
Yeah.
It's still a FNAF game. And, yeah, I will also be doing a Bendy timeline once I find out enough information about it. But until then, that's been the FNAF timeline. This is the longest FNAF video that I've just been talking other than the game playthroughs. So, yep, that's been the FNAF timeline. And this is... goodbye. And goodbye. See ya.